An estimated 18,000 people, including many women and children, remain trapped in the Yarmouk Palestinian refugee camp in southern Damascus. It's been cut off by Syrian rebels for more than a year now. Hundreds of relief parcels have managed to reach the camp for the first time in several months, but that's too late for at least 85 people who have died there since the middle of last year from illness and starvation. RT's Maria Finoshna took a trip to this rebel enclave.
Another battleground of the brutal Syrian war, in the very heart of the country and at the edge of the regime's stronghold.
This is Yarmouk Palestinian camp here in Damascus that has been held by the militants for more than a year now. We are not allowed to go any further because the military people who are controlling the situation here on the ground told us that there are snipers and there are armed men behind this building.
But it's not only from bullets that people here are dying. When we visit, dozens already said to have died from starvation. A year after the siege began, food and water supplies are all but gone.
It's as bad as it can get. I'm desperately hungry, and my children have nothing to eat.
These women live in the Yarmouk camp that has been home to thousands of Palestinian refugees for decades. But today, they pray for an escape.
There's no food, nothing to eat or drink. The militants are inside. I swear on the soul of the Prophet, we want this to stop. What are we guilty of? We just want to go out.
They want to go out, but they can't. They're trapped. Those holding the camp only allow women and elderly men to go out briefly to bring in food aid distributed by the Syrian and Palestinian officials together with the UN. Their families remain inside, so they have to return to the besieged camp.
I'm Rasha. Nice to meet you.
While we are talking to one Yarmouk resident, an old man behind us collapses to the ground. No one could tell us exactly why.
My God, we are dying from hunger. We can't take this anymore.
Palestinian and Syrian officials have been trying to solve this crisis for months now.
Some of our people, they are negotiating with them. Until now, we failed. I have much doubt that they will accept. It's clear.
Humanitarian aid is the only achievement so far. These boxes are allowed in for both the Syrians and Palestinians taken hostage, with some estimates putting that number at 50,000. I ask those responsible how they know the food they deliver will not fall into the militants' hands. They say no one can give any guarantee.
The Al-Nusra Front and the Tafkiri groups trade on the hunger of the people. They want to say to the world, look, the people are hungry. It's like the residents have been kidnapped inside their own camp or inside their own home, and the militants are negotiating over them.
Siege has become a popular tactic among rebel forces here in Syria. Just recently, we went to the industrial city of Adra outside Damascus. According to army generals, at least 5,000 remain trapped there. Sieges serve well to weaken an army's capabilities, keeping large forces tied up for long periods of time. But they have another goal too.
They claim that the Syrian government is besieging the Palestinians in the camp. They want to invert the truth by saying the Syrian government is part of the killing force, as they don't do anything to protect the people. They want the people to hate the regime.
Accusations over the inaction of the Syrian authorities are loud indeed. Government officials blame the militants for infiltrating into the cities in the first place and complain they can do little to fight back, knowing civilians could be hurt.
It's the militants who attacked the camp, and it's the militants who are using the people as human shields.
Any security or military force here on the ground is to halt the flow of militants. The government cannot leave the doors wide open for them or put out a red carpet to allow them to go straight to Damascus.
And thousands of ordinary people all over Syria remain hostage inside their own homes, waiting for help. Already 3 years into this conflict, That could prove a very long wait indeed. Marif Noshnati from Syria.